Hello, everybody. Welcome to the A. Hardry Show. Today on the A. Hardry Show, I have a special guest speaker and author that I'm interviewing today by the name of Duci Denofio. Hello, Nancy.
Hello, Ace. How are you? I'm so pleased to be here. So pleased that I got here.
Oh, yeah, girl. Well, I told you I'd take care of you. No problem.
I thought for sure I wouldn't make it.
Oh, well, it's a pleasure having you here today. You know what? I'm so excited to have you here. You know what? I just want to tell people who you really are and what you have done as far as your accomplishments as a published writer. So, for you guys who don't know Nancy, let me tell you, Duci Denofio has been writing all her life, whether keeping journals or writing poetry continuously since junior high school. Her work has appeared in numerous publications, both in the United States and abroad. She is a member of the International Women's Writers Guild, and as a workshop director, has worked with writers on presentation and reading of their work. She is a passionate supporter of healthcare reform in the United States, and as a committed citizen advocate, participated in a number of high-level initiatives concerning this major issue. Nancy, wow, girl, you've been busy.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm busy.
Well, I have some questions for you, Nancy, on the A. Hardry Show, and I basically want to talk about this book. This book is it's a poetry book, right?
Right, it's a poetry book, but it's based on poetic memoir.
Poetic memoir, I like that. Now, what inspired you to write the book called What Brought You Here?
Well, basically the title's catchy, and I'm basically one that loves to read my work to the public. So it's a great beginning when you face the public and ask, what brought you here? And basically they're talking right before I even start the show. And it's a great icebreaker. And what brought you here besides that is basically, it does explain poetic memoir. It explains how, if you read it, how each line of your life can be shortened to like 4 inches, and you can do this from even a novel you're working on. Or you can go the other way, and you can take that book, and you can turn it into a novel. So, I mean, either way, it's still a memoir of your life or something you've seen in your life or during your lifetime, but it's got to do with the writer.
Wow. Now, can you tell us about page turners? We really want to know about page turners and what purpose it can do for writers.
Okay, page turners. I love page turners. Meg and I hold that the third Friday of each month on Red River Radio, page turners. And what we do is we interview other authors, very good authors. And these authors are best-selling authors from all over the world. And what they do is really educate everyone who listens, including me. We get to know them personally. It's like we're really relaxed. It's a very relaxed conversation. And we're basically talking about their book, helping them sell their book, promoting their book. And we get a little bit where we promote ourselves. But basically it's their show, not our show.
I like that. Kind of similar to how we do it here on the A. Harvey Show. I promote other people. It's not about me. It's about them.
Right. That's great. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Same type of thing.
Awesome. Now, Nancy, how did you get to all the presidential candidates on your own?
Oh, wow. Well, we're going back a way there. We're going back to the Clinton administration. And during that time, I was living in Manchester, New Hampshire. And I was a writer, and I was freelancing, and I said I could do as good as anybody out there. I said, and I could do better. And so I basically, at that time, unfortunately, I was in a wheelchair, which made it even harder because somebody in a wheelchair going up to the president, quote, candidate of the United States, is going to really get shunned. I mean, it's very hard to get to him in the first place. So I went to Lamar Alexander was the first one.
Wow.
And he said I had to take a hike. And I said, what did you mean by take a hike? I mean, you could take that two ways. Well, the hike was up a mountain. And I said, okay, I'll do it. And so I went up the mountain in the wheelchair, and I said, as long as I get 5 minutes with you on the top of the mountain. But we get to the top of the mountain, and he says he's busy he's got to go somewhere else. And I looked at him, and I said, you've got to be, I don't know what I said, but I really told him what I thought. And I said, you better stay here. I don't care if it's 3 minutes, but you better stay here. Well, he sat down, and he talked for longer than 10 minutes, probably. And then he went to his other assignment. But what happened was he kept calling me then, and he put me in the newspaper with an ad. Oh, vote for Lamar Alexander. Well, that wasn't the exciting one, though. The exciting one was Joel, who I had for 1.5 hours alone. And we talked on healthcare in Rochester, New Hampshire on July 23rd. Yep, I think it was 1994 that we were there. And I was very proud to talk with him. He was a very kind and gentle person. And he had some feeling about healthcare because he was injured in the war. So we had things to talk about. But I couldn't believe when Lamar, I'm sorry, but I got to go back, when Lamar was put as head of healthcare reform this year, I said, you've got to be kidding. And I started, my fingers started going on Twitter, which was crazy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was exciting, but I mean, I knew from day one that, it wouldn't go anywhere. And it still won't. Not with him in there. But,
well,
I got a lot.
You definitely was persistent. I'll tell you that. That's how you got there.
Oh, well, you know how I got there is I was in the wheelchair, and I got in front of the American flag.
Wow.
And I wheeled that wheelchair through the yellow ropes, and I stood up with the 2 canes, and I looked at Joel, and I said, you and I are going to talk. And he goes, oh, okay, what do you want? I said, oh, no, you and I are going to talk, and we're going to talk longer than 5 minutes. And he said, well, okay, get her name. And he kept glancing over at me. I said, remember, longer than 5 minutes. The next day, the girl called from the headquarters and set up the appointment in Rochester. Said that, yes, he's going to meet with you in Rochester, New Hampshire on July 23rd. And I said, fine, and it's longer than 5 minutes, correct? They said, yes, it is. And it ended up being an hour and a half.
Awesome.
So, I said, I'm not even Barbara Walters, and I got a president for her.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Now, my next question I want to ask you is, what advice can you give new aspiring writers that, when you started out, like what advice can you give those kind of people who are trying to self-publish a book? Because it is difficult for people who don't know how to go about doing it. Can you give us just a few tips?
Right. Yeah, I can give you a few tips. Because some self-publishers could be your neighbor and they could be working out of the garage. That's one thing. So you have to get some real good recommendations from people who have been published before. And that's the best tip you can give somebody, is to see it right in front of you. And then get a little history. Find out how many books this person has done. Find out what it looks like. See if the books are selling. You can call authors. Authors aren't, untouchable. And sometimes they like to be called, about their books.
Right.
So those are the things they say, yeah.
Oh, those are good. Yeah, that's good for me, too, because I've written a book myself, but it's still in its manuscript stage. And I remember I had a conversation with you when we first met. We met on Facebook. So that's come to my next question. How do you like social media so far?
Social media. Well, funny part of social media is that I met the publisher of my first book on Twitter. And he went to a blog spot and saw my other work and said he liked it. Social media, if you use it the right way, and if you're a professional, and you say, this Facebook is a calling card for my business, then you're going to make out okay. But if you're going to talk about somebody's aunt's chocolate cake, and you're going to talk about another lollipop that somebody spilled, no, you're not going to be okay. You have to take those. If they end up on your Facebook, you have the power to X them out.
Mm-hmm.
Those people get the hint. You have a business.
Yeah.
Run it like a business. I believe what we're going to be doing next is I don't know if I should get into this now, but we're going to be doing a talk show. And it all came from Facebook, meeting people. So this talk show is 4 people, and I can give the name. And this is the official #1 time to tell you about it. Nobody else. I have told nobody else about it. We're going to be in 192 countries, and it's going to be myself. Yeah, it's amazing. Meg, myself. It's going to be Allie Depp Altman, and it's going to be David Hastings. And the 4 of us are going to go on, I believe, the Daily Show, and we will be working a talk show. We all have things that we like. Hopefully, it'll go okay. But the name of it was the first time. I know you knew about the show, but you never really heard the name.
Right.
So the name of it is America's Real People. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the things I talk to the president about real people.
Right.
We want to reach America and let them know, the people that don't know about the people that can't afford toothfish.
Right.
So we're gonna reach out to you, to everybody.
Well, it was. I tell you, Nancy, I had a really, really wild experience the day that you and Meg called me on 3-way and said that you needed me as a co-host. I was like, oh my God, I didn't know what to do. I was like, me, a co-host? Like, what can I do? It was so much fun, though. I had such a blast. That guy, he was what was it, the publisher of that Erie Digest, that's what it was? That was so awesome. Thank you for that honor. I really, have something else to add to my portfolio now, too, thanks to you. I appreciate that. So, Nancy, what website can we get the book?
My book?
Yes.
Okay, you can go to Amazon.com.
Uh-huh.
Or you can go to Limited Editions Press, Duci Denofio at Limited Editions Press.
Okay. Is that your website?
My website, what I use as a website are my blogs right now.
That's fine.
I'm kind of like in between. I don't know which is a website.
I love blogs. Tell us your blog. We'll find you.
I'm good at talking.
Yeah. What's your website address for your blog so we can put it up here on the screen?
Okay, you put that one up. Nancy Duci Denofio, all small letters.
Uh-huh.
.blogspot.com.
All right, everybody. You heard it here on the A. Harvey Show. My wonderful friend and guest speaker, Nancy Denofio. Get the book that we talked about today and, what brought you here. And read and get inspired and comment on this book. And I'm definitely going to get a chance to read it too, Nancy. And that way, because I love poetry, and I love the way it makes me feel. And I love having you here on the show. Definitely, I would love to bring you back, do a follow-up on you. Are you coming out with another book later in the future, maybe?
Oh, yes. Did you ever want to fly?
Awesome. Well, we'll definitely bring you back on the show. Definitely. Nancy, thank you so much for being here. It was a pleasure. Guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Guys, let me tell you something. Nancy is awesome, and everybody here who shows up on the A. Haldry Show being interviewed by the Ace herself is also awesome. If you have a brand or a business that you like to promote and you need my help and you want to be interviewed on the A. Haldry Show, email me at ahaldry@gmail.com. Watch the A. Haldry Show, and definitely keep tuning in because you're going to see more and more new superstars show up. Thank you so much, Nancy.
Thanks. I'll see you again. We'll have you on.
Yeah, most definitely. Awesome. All right, bye, everybody.